For everybody watching. I don't know how this is. All right, well, this is just stuck to the spoon. All right, here we go.
This is super sugary.
Alrighty, welcome to Literary Lushes with your hosts, Megan
And Samantha.
And we are doing our 13 Short Literary Spirits special today. And today we are so lucky enough to have Bethanie on with us from the Prince Kai fan pod. And we are going to be reviewing Stalking Jack the Ripper.
Nailed it.
Holla.
Welcome, Bethanie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
And our drink today
is, what did we call it? I don't even remember.
I know, it's like a wicked web.
Oh yes, we called it a wicked web. And if you guys want the full recipe, please check out our Patreon. You can find all the recipes there, along with extra goodies and behind the scenes stuff. So I really enjoyed that book.
Part of the book.
I really enjoyed
Pieces of the book.
I don't like romance typically. So usually anytime the book has romance, I'm like, let's just chop, let's go. Let's just like kiss. We know it's gonna happen, like let's just do it. But I really liked how the main character in this book struggles with what society expects her to do and how she's just really not willing to do it. So I admired that a lot. I like a good, strong female character, which is why I wore the shirt, because I felt like it was fitting, because it says, and then he says, you should smile more.
I like mine says like, are you twisted? And I was thinking because
Jack.
Yeah.
So I thought the romance was very secondary in the beginning, so I liked it a little bit more, but I am a hopeless romantic. So the romance element in any book, movie, story, I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. I feel like there should be a little bit in everything.
That's why when I was like, we should totally read Marissa Meyer, she's like, okay, this sounds kind of cool. And she's like reading it, she's like looking at me, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't.
She's like, I like the parts except for the romance parts.
No. Well, we all have our own preferences, right? Like I can't do horror and gory stuff. Like this is the extent of what I can handle.
I mean, but that's, and then this book too is cool because it's based on obviously a true story. And I had actually, I didn't make it all the way through. I tried really hard, but I tried to read this book of called The Five, and it was a true story about all 5 of Jack's victims and their upbringing.
I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and it was super interesting, but very dense, almost like reading a history textbook.
Ugh.
So
if you want more information, I recommend a podcast called Unsolved Murders. They do 2 to 3 parts per episode. It's always an unsolved case, and they're very well researched. It's a great show too, because they also have I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's very theatrical. Like they have actors that come in and they'll narrate certain scenes. They'll have like background noises of like, guns or slashing or stomping down the cobbled road or something. So if you're looking for more like a historical information, and that's a good like 2 hours where you can knock out and get quite a bit of information in that time period.
Cool. Way to make the rest of us look like
uncultured.
No,
that is like one of the things I listen to. I love podcasts in general, and that's like one of my favorite podcasts to listen to when I go for a run.
Oh,
because it's like listening to an unsolved murder case, so it's like an extra like boost of like, don't stop, you never know who you might be running away from.
Right, you gotta go find the murder.
Right, 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry, now we can keep talking.
So another thing I enjoyed about the book is, this is not a spoiler because on the back of the book, it literally says she loves Jack the Ripper. So obviously,
I know, but I kind of hated that because then the whole story, I was like, okay, so who is it?
Who is it? Right.
And it had to be someone that she already knew or someone she's connected to. So I'm not going to lie. That was probably my least favorite part, was that was on the back of the cover. I tend to avoid reading summaries at all, other than like trying to get the basic gist of the story, just because I hate the spoilers.
And so I honestly don't know how this is going to go, Bethany. So we're just going to go.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you. Oh no, it's cooling so quickly. Okay.
Do we need to heat it up again?
No, I'm just gonna,
I don't think
It's more like a garnish.
I don't think we had to do 2 marshmallows either.
and I don't think we need a jumbo.
I don't know.
I think we could have gotten
You know,
away
a
with
little tiny one probably would have been more than enough, and just like whoop.
I'm just gonna.
maybe we should modify that in our recipe. Doohickey.
So what I did like was that even though it kind of gives it away, you don't know right away who it is. So as you're
Mhm.
reading, you're like, okay, it could be, sorry, Thomas, Nathaniel, her dad, her uncle. It could be
Her
police-
cousin, her aunt.
So
right?
you should have gone, who done it or who is it?
And I thought the author did a really good job of
Oh, that looks good.
mixing the clues together, so
Yeah.
that you didn't know. So it's like one clue would point to her dad, and then the next clue points to Thomas or whatever. So I thought that was good. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life now. And your clue together.
I thought that one of the greatest things about it too was the back and forth it allowed. Like, so I'm not big on scary books. So the constant back and forth between like a calm moment and then the scary moments where you're, you know, having scenes where they're running away or someone gets injured or there's a shootout kind of situation. Those were always like really good for me just because I'm not used to that type of story.
And I did enjoy how they handled the goriness of it all, right? Because she
Mhm.
works as a medical examiner, essentially.
So she's not squeamish about that kind of stuff, unlike me,
Yeah.
who's very much like, ugh.
Well, and it's like I like to think I'm like a badass, and then I'm like, there's no way I could ever dissect a human body.
Can I tell you my tangent, but that also still fits?
Yes.
So I was in the medical academy in high school, nerd, and one of the clubs that I was joining was HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, and I got accepted into the summer camp, a medical summer camp, again, nerd. And one of the things we got to do was go to Nova Southeastern University, which is a huge medical school. And one of the field trips was to go into the room where they practice heart surgery. And I don't know if you know this, but how they teach the people how to practice with hearts is they use cow hearts because they are an enlarged version of what a human heart is like. It's got the same 4 valves, so they actually brought out a cow heart, and anybody who wanted to hold it was more than welcome. And now it's got that formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde.
So, I mean, that's all you smell walking into this place. And then some of the people are like, no. I'm like, no, man, I want to feel this thing. And so I'm like feeling it, and then they're like, okay, who's ready for lunch? I'm like, me. And people are like, and I'm like, dude, I could totally sit here and eat. Like it was not, and I could actually eat a cheeseburger.
Watching like House or Grey's Anatomy or Scrubs, even like my eyes are covered for several scenes. But it's interesting because in real life I'm not particular, not really. I taught preschool for a very long time, and kids are resilient, but they are also fearless. And I'm actually kind of surprised I never had any issues like blood, broken bones and stuff. I was just like, all right, well, I can't panic because I have a 3-year-old. So
and now you panic.
Right. Exactly.
The only thing I am squeamish with the whole like medical thing or whatever is skin. So like stitches. Like the idea of stitches grosses me out. Like my dad had wrist surgery because the carpal tunnel thing. And I couldn't look at his wrists the entire time I was visiting with him because it just creeps me out. And then so like when we had in biology, we had to dissect or anatomy, we had to dissect a big pig fetus, we had to skin it. And I couldn't do that. Like I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, can't do this. And I had to like walk away. But then once that was all done, I'm like, all right, let's see what we got. We already have it open. Like as long as you can't like see. So I don't know what it is, but skin is what makes me
well, it's different for everyone too. My husband has never, ever been squeamish about anything. And then I actually separated my shoulder. So when it's out of the socket, it's just out of the socket. When it's separated, the only thing holding it to the body is the skin, because everything else is just ripped. And he's never been squeamish before, ever. And he's still not squeamish. But for some reason, when it was me with the busted shoulder, like he almost passed out just looking at it.
Oh.
I was like,
All right, 2 seconds again. Sorry.
You look so angry.
Okay. It's cold.
Okay.
It's so cold.
So speaking of stitches on skin, I thought that was a fun thing in the book, how she's like, oh yeah, my stitching is so great on my napkins because I practice on cadavers all the time.
it's interesting that it's not the other way around, because young women, especially in that time frame, that's what they did.
Right.
That's what they did. They embroidered, they learned how to sew, they learned how to draw and write. And so it's interesting that for her, it was the opposite of learning on cloth. If anything, it was more influenced by her time in the medical field.
And yeah, just get right in there.
It's
on
like
that marshmallow. It's like
taffy.
Yeah. I mean, when she was like going to those tea parties, just all I could think of was like, wow, how droll and superficial this is.
I'm like, I think I would be like her. I'd be like, can I do something else? I don't care how macabre it is. Like, actually, the more macabre, the better.
How's that
Are
going?
y'all watching?
Yeah.
It's
It's basically like using used chewing gum as a medium.
See that paints a very disturbing picture.
Like trying to make it stick just to the rim, which is actually working as like a base to like bring all the extra things.
I'm not entirely sure how one is supposed to drink this after it is made, but
After it's made. Sticky, very sticky.
And like you gotta like make a drink hole. I mean, I guess we could do it with the straw.
oh yeah.
There you go.
Or maybe, I don't know how any of it works, but maybe as you drink it, the alcohol melts the marshmallow.
Kind of like with cotton candy.
Yeah. Your margarita while we try. I don't even know what.
Yes, absolutely.
I think I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna go on this one. All over myself. It was nice knowing you.
Stuck. That was gross. That was like stepping on a gum piece in the movie theater. Were you able to do it?
Is it good?
Do it.
Just try harder. There you go.
Those facial
Honestly,
expressions are not promising.
I think
Because we did the cherry.
I think it's because we bought mini bottles of the flavored vodka, so we wouldn't have to commit
to a giant bottle of vodka.
Yeah, so we wouldn't
Right.
have to commit to like a giant bottle of chocolate vodka or whatever. And I'm gonna be honest, this brand is,
Which is funny because I actually
great.
don't mind their plain vodka.
yeah, but I feel like flavor takes on a whole new.
Yeah, that was it's not
It changes the texture and the taste a lot.
Yeah, it tastes very artificial. Although the caramel one we used was okay.
Yeah, that one was
But the
not bad.
chocolate one and the cherry.
Oh man,
one-
we saved a little bit of the chocolate left over and we took a sip because it's like, ooh, just straight up chocolate vodka. This is gonna be delish.
It's like rubbing alcohol.
Oh, my thing's melted.
Oh,
Or no, it might not have melted. It might have been me pushing on it because like I literally
no, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I think it was because like because my nose sticks out so far. So I kept like trying to, that's why it's like I'm having a hard time getting to the anyways. So yes, I'd have a hard time growing up back in those days because I would not been able to like hell now I get yelled at now by people because I'm not ladylike enough. Between my belches, my cursing, apparently my drinking.
My mom, she's like,
Oh, my mom's a
my
woman.
mom goes to me. So my fiance and I, we've been together for 7.5 years. And so she's, you right over there?
It was stuck. It was
And she's like, wait, you like fart in front of him? I'm like, yes, mom, women fart and we live together. So yes, I do. Like,
It's so interesting to me. Usually when I hear about like partners who have trouble with that kind of stuff, it's always from the female side. And so it's always interesting to me because like I'm married to someone who couldn't care less. Like he's like, yeah, you're a human being, so you're gonna do things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my husband's like, oh, you didn't shave your armpits for a month? That's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
like-
think my husband cares at all.
But yeah, my fans would be like, "Oh, your mustache is growing in real nice." I'm like, "F you, thanks a lot."
Right?
I don't even
I
think
like to joke that like it's not fair that they can have mustaches and beards because I don't have anything to keep my face warm in the winter. I have to get like those giant scarves
Right? Yeah. I mean, and they can
or
be-
long hair that protects your neck pretty
right?
well.
Yeah, exactly. Just like kind of tuck it in the front of your coat.
Exactly.
you buy one of those fake beards that you
I've actually crocheted one.
see.
I kind of
They are very classy.
I don't know if y'all just saw that. That straw definitely went. I definitely missed because I was like listening and looking.
you just gotta do it in slow mo. Or it's like Megan has a history of. I mean, I've hurt myself in the name of the podcast, but she has. Let's
I
see.
take it to another
You
level.
nailed yourself in the face with a wine bottle.
It was the basketball challenge,
I
I'm
nailed
not doing that one.
bottle from the same challenge.
which made me
I
believe.
feel like I would lose a tooth with that challenge.
I bled because
Right?
We used plastic bottles.
she bounced it, but it was
Aw.
the bigger ones. And she bounced it, and her wine bottle went straight across and hit
Oh,
me right in the
mine.
face as I'm filming.
It got Plumbing Beacon and Bethany just right.
And
to
the
her
next thing I
face.
know, I'm like bleeding.
And then, you tried to pop a champagne bottle and it popped
Still don't
into
know
your-
how I didn't like.
And then I fell out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how
But your fall wasn't. It was not even.
Definitely.
See, we could do like a whole episode just comparing stories about being clumsy because
Oh my god,
that's like been my whole life. This is how clumsy I am. When I separated my shoulder, my husband called my parents to tell them what happened. My parents have been divorced for like 20 years and they live on opposite sides of the country. So this is two separate phone calls. They both had the exact same reaction of, I don't think she's hurt the shoulder before, but I know it's been like the elbow and the wrist. And I think I like there's like some kind of secret bingo out there where everybody like checks off when I injure a new body part.
It's a good
like
game.
they have like a sketch of the body and they're
Yes.
like, who had left shoulder?
So I'm Bethany Finger and I'm the host of Prince Kai Fan Pod, which is a Marissa Meyer book club podcast where we go through every single book by Marissa Meyer, including her short stories. And I have a different guest for every episode and we're spoiler free as you go. So, if you've only read Cinder, you can listen to all those episodes before you get to Scarlet and so on. I think Marissa's been on 3 episodes now and she'll be coming back soon. She and I have been talking about maybe doing a bonus episode when Gilded comes out. Or maybe me going on her podcast when Gilded comes out as like a promotion for her book. So yeah, there's lots of cool bonus stuff on my Patreon if anybody wants to go check it out. Patreon is $1, so
So check it out.
Check it out.
right,
Check
it's
it out.
super cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just started book 4 of the Lunar Chronicles. So there's like 130 episodes to go check out.
And with that, we say, stay lively.
Lately with your libations.
Ooh,
Mm.
it's seriously so sticky like mine.
It's so sticky. So
Mm.